Good afternoon, everybody. How are you all doing? I hope you guys are doing good and I hope you're doing fine. Welcome to another live session on my channel, Flourish and Thrive with EA, where we teach and empower women to heal from trauma of a toxic relationship and help them to find themselves. My name is Elizabeth Akiniyi and I am a relationship and marriage therapist. Actually, I just got my license and glory be to God. That's one of the reasons why I've not been online for some time, because I've been so busy taking the course, so I could not actually be online. So now I'm finished and I have my license. I'm a certified, a licensed relationship and marriage therapist. So how are you guys all doing? I hope you guys are doing good and I hope you guys are doing fine. So let's get to what we want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today is something that will be helpful for anybody who has just left a toxic relationship and is looking for healing. So what I'm going to teach you today is actually going to help you rebuild yourself, rebuild your self-identity. So if you have been in a relationship whereby you love the person so much, you love the person so much to the extent that you lost yourself because you were trying to keep the relationship working, you wanted the best for them, you were doing everything possible to make sure the relationship worked. You were the one putting in the whole energy. They were not putting in too much energy and they were saying you were doing too much. And in the course of trying to make the relationship work, you lost yourself. So today's video is actually for you. Today's video is going to help you rebuild yourself, going to help you regain your self-worth and your identity and help you to go back to yourself. So that is what we are going to talk about today. So ladies, I want you to grab your pen, I want you to grab your paper or your journal and list out what I'm going to say. So let me start by saying that how does it start? Because I notice it's a trend, especially in Africa. I'm from Nigeria in Africa. And from what I can see about people, it happens to men too. But I'm somebody I happen to major in taking care of women, helping women. So it happens to men too. So I noticed that here in Africa, women move from one toxic relationship to another. They move from one toxic relationship to another. Some people even have to marry, they divorce, and they keep wondering what is really causing the problem, what is really actually the problem. So I'm going to talk about the genesis of the problem today, because when we want to actually take it into consideration, I'm not going to leave here today. I'm going to use up to 40 or 50 minutes, but I'm going to have to cut it down so that you guys can just have the basic understanding why you keep moving from one toxic relationship to another and what you can actually do to break yourself free from that cycle and heal yourself. So let's get started to it. So here in Africa, there are lots of things that are actually wrong. I will actually say in Africa, 90% of most people are actually going through trauma because there's what we call supposition in family life. The kind of upbringing we had, it was made the kind of upbringing we have from our parents and the belief system, the cultural traditions, what the society has to bring. They had a way of programming the way most people they see themselves. So it starts from childhood. So what we were being told in childhood, what we were being taught in childhood, some things which were not actually true, which actually led to you believing this is how things were supposed to be. So let me just give an instance. I would hear some ladies say a man is supposed to be the protector. A man is supposed to be the one, is the head of the home. Well, yes, we know that. A man is supposed to be the protector. A man is supposed to take care of the woman. A man is supposed to be the one that makes the decision. And I look at them, who told you that the man has to be a protector? If the man is not, if you're not married, won't you protect yourself? If you're not married, won't you make decisions for yourself? That's why I ask some people sometimes, don't you know you have to make decisions for yourself? So suppositions like that, things that are not true, things that don't even have a basis. When we look at it, where is the fact? Where is that the fact that proves the theory that the man has to be the decision maker in the home? The house has to be the protector. Where is it? So It's not true, but we believe it has been true, and they shape our perception. They shape the way we think, the way we see the world when we grow up as adults. So there are some things that happen as a child which actually make some women keep moving from one toxic relationship to another, because I have to just throw light into this, because I feel it's time I need to talk about this to bring awareness to this issue, so that some women won't keep doing the things that they are keep doing. So because some people will say in Africa that they are being is their village people. It's not your village people. It's just a lack of understanding of who you really are. So let's take, for instance, you grew up in a family whereby you were made to believe that let me take this scenario. In a family whereby it is the father that makes only the decision. He's the one that makes the wife doesn't have to make a decision. The kids doesn't have to make the decision. He's the one making the decision for them. He's the one telling them what to do. So in that kind of a scenario, the man is the one that is solely responsible for the way they think. He's the one responsible for the way they see themselves. He's the one responsible for every choice they have to make. They don't have a say. All they have to do is submit and follow what he has to say. And this is stemming from, I hear they say a woman must submit to a man. Yes, a woman must submit to a man, but when you submit to something that will destroy you, then it needs to be questioned. And moreover, when we want to take up the case of submission, the Bible says before you get married, you need to love yourself. Because they will say the man must love the woman and the woman must submit to the man. But I'm looking at it from this angle. Before you get married, this has been said that you need to first of all love yourself. What the Bible says is love your neighbor as yourself. So when you love yourself, it will be very easy for you to love another person. It will be easy for you to love your wife. That is the first thing. So let's take it on the other hand. We're looking at submission. The Bible says we should respect each other and submit together, submit to each other in love. So submission has always been before getting married. So it is something you need to do by yourself before you actually get married. So you need to submit to yourself, submit to others, respect their decisions, don't cross their boundaries. So when you do that, it will be automatic. It's going to be an automatic thing for you to do, because you've learned to be submissive with yourself. So when we're talking about a man must love a woman, he has to first of all love himself. He does not love himself, no. So the man has to love himself, and the man has to be submissive to himself, because it's not all the time he has to be the one to make the decisions. There are sometimes he needs to hear his wife out. So in such a case, he has to be submissive and hear what his wife has to say, and they all have to come to a conclusion. So when I look at it sometimes that a man must love a woman and the woman must be submissive to the man, I look at it that it's an incomplete statement to me. That is my own point of view. It might not look the same to everybody. So let's get back to what we were talking about. So you take it for this instance whereby, like I was saying, the man makes the whole decision for the whole household, and it's based on the fact that the woman has to submit to whatever the man says. The man is actually stiffening their voice. It's not allowing them to speak. So when a child grows up in such a home believing that that child mind has been programmed to believe that I don't have a say, I don't have to say anything that happens, I don't have a choice, anything that comes my way, I just have to accept it that way. I don't have the right to make a decision for myself. So you stifle them. So such people, they fondle at making decisions. So, and we are energy beings. So the energy we carry in within us, first, we determine who we attract. So when you're carrying an energy of confusion, your voice is being stifled, you're carrying an energy of indecision, you will automatically attract somebody that will be a decision maker for you. And so that is how it continues. It continues. It keeps moving from one generation to another, because what you do is what your children will do. Because what they see you do is what they themselves will do. So in that kind of a scenario, that person getting married to such a person or being in a relationship with such a person does not have a say in the relationship. Whatever the person decides for them, whether it's good, whether it's bad, their voice is stifled. So the person might be doing something wrong and they can't speak up. So they'll be harboring resentment in within of them. They'll be harboring pain in within of them. And this will actually begin to hurt their emotions. So they might put up some behaviors which are not so pleasant. And God, if then I'm looking at it on the other hand, if they actually move into a relationship with somebody that will actually take advantage of their indecisiveness, their silence, so that person will continue to make decisions that will abuse them. And that is when they begin to lose their self, for because they want to do everything to please that person. They will want to do everything to make that person stay. And that is where people's pleasing come inside. So children that are born in a house whereby your voice is not heard, you don't have to speak up, they grow up with this mentality that they are not needed, that they are not important, that they are not they don't have a say. And for somebody who is suffering, who has an attachment style that is anxious, I'm still going to talk about the different attachment styles that we have. I'm going to actually give a full explanation, but let me just break it down a little bit, that if somebody has an anxious attachment style, that person will be somebody that is very clingy. They actually want to stay with their partner all the time. They are the kind of people, they need reassurance from their partner that they love them, even though their partner tells them, I do love you, I do love you. They would want to keep hearing him or her say, do you love me? And apart from that, they are the kind of people, they will want to know everything their spouse is doing. They go through their phone, they are always afraid, they're feeling that they're going to leave them, because they've actually witnessed a situation. Maybe their dad left their mom, or they had unemotionally available parents, so they grew up with this fear within of them. So they tend to be clingy, because they don't have that trust. It's very difficult for them to trust, because they are still carrying that pain, so they are still carrying that trauma. So when they move, such people can't attract a what is it called, somebody that is healthy into their life. They can't have a healthy relationship. Even if somebody that is healthy comes into their life, they will be the one to sabotage that relationship. They will be the one to put an end to that relationship through their behavior, because their brain, their nervous system has normalized that event, that programming that they have as being their reality. So when something else comes up different from that, the brain as a way is to actually reprogram itself and bring them back to what they really used to think. So the brain sees it as an error. The mind sees it as an error. So because it sees it as an error, it will bring them back to what they understand, what they know. So their perception of love is not true. The perception they have about love is not really what it's supposed to be. So they come up with self-sabotaging habits that will actually break the relationship. So you find them moving from one toxic relationship to another, and they don't understand why this keep happening. They don't understand why it keeps going on the way it keeps going on. And they keep looking at it, is something wrong with me? Yes, there's something wrong. What is actually wrong is your programming, the way you were brought up, what you were made to believe, your belief system, the cultural, the tradition, the societal norms that you were made to believe in, which were not true. Some children, they became adults at a young age, so they had this adult mentality when they grew up. So they became very, very independent. They don't rely on anybody for what they do. They don't rely on anybody for what they need. They are bottled up in within of them. They keep their emotions and everything to themselves. So if you find such a woman, if a woman like that is in a relationship, she finds it very difficult to open up to the man. She has a lot of secrets. She has a lot of things she's bottling up. And if she happens to be in a relationship with a toxic man, it's going to be a problem. So most times, most of these people with a dysfunctional point of view about love, due to their upbringing, due to the trauma they had to face in childhood, due to the things they had to grow up in childhood. Some of them grew up with this mentality that, let me put it this way, that love is transactional. If you grow up in a home whereby it is only when you do a good deed that your parents will show you love, they will appreciate you, they will tell you good things about you. I can imagine there was a lady that was actually talking in my class that she never remembered the time the mother actually told her anything beautiful in her life. That she never remembered when the mother told her, I love you. She just thought about this. I don't think I've even heard the word. There are some homes like that in Africa. Yes, there are some homes like that in Africa. They don't tell you they love you. They just believe they have to provide for your needs. They just prefer they have to provide for everything you do. And such a child will believe that, oh, it is only when you do something good, that is when your parents will show you care, love, and appreciation. So in that kind of a situation, such a child has a mindset that love is transactional. So they believe that you have to do something to get something. So they carry that energy of transactional love. So if they see somebody giving them unconditional love, they find it unusual. And their brain has believed that that is how love has to be. So they sabotage that relationship. They feel more comfortable in a relationship whereby they will be abused. It is not them, it is their programming. It is the way they were brought up. It is the way their nervous system has actually normalized abuse as being normal. That situation has been normal. So they take it as being normal. So they see it as something that is normal. So they prefer to stay in that kind of a relationship. So they keep moving from one toxic relationship to another. And it can be very, very damaging. Very, very damaging. Keep moving from one toxic relationship to another will erode your self-worth. It will erode your self-esteem. It will make you lose touch with reality. You won't know who you are anymore, what you like, what you love to do, what are your love, what are your likes and your dislikes. Sometimes it will alienate you from friends and families and from people that love you. Sometimes it might actually break you down, give you some conditions, post-traumatic stress disorder. It might actually break you down completely, that you might have to live on drugs to maintain your emotional sanity. Yes, it happens. It happens. And you know the way trauma works in such a way whereby it wires everything about you. If you don't heal your trauma on time, it actually results into more deadly diseases, autoimmune diseases. It results into diabetes, cancer. Most deadly diseases, they arise from unhealed dark emotions. Yes, they arise from unhealed dark emotions. So when you don't heal it has an impact on your body, because trauma is stored in the body. So these are some of the damaging effects it has on you. It makes you lose touch with reality. It makes you lose your self-worth. It makes you lose your self-esteem. You have to put up with so much manipulation in the relationship, so much control, so much criticism. You lose your self-worth, you lose your self-esteem. You're doing everything to please them. I say it, you can't do everything. You can't please everybody. You can't make everybody happy. I've heard some people say, there's nothing I can do about my husband, or this is the way he is. This is the way he is. You can't change him. Why would you try to fix somebody in the first place? Why would you try to change it? If it's not working, it's not working. It's not meant to be yours. You need to understand the difference between true love and the love that gives you pain. Fine, there will be challenges in relationship. There will be challenges in relationship, but when your rights are being taken away, where your voice is being silenced, where you are being abused, where your boundaries are being crossed, they don't care what makes you happy. They erode everything. They criticize you with the fact that you're still trying to fix them. Then that is not a relationship. That is not a relationship. So it leads to self-abandonment. It leads to self-abandonment. It leads to chronic diseases. It leads to losing your self-worth, losing your self-esteem, and so many other things like that. So what do? So if you're lucky and you leave the relationship, if you're lucky, then I'll say this is your lucky day. It is time for you to move forward and regain yourself. This is where empowerment comes in. So when you leave a toxic relationship, most times you won't know who you are anymore, because of all the things you had to endure, because of all the things you had to go through, the pain you have to go through, the gaslighting, the manipulation, the control, the obsession, the criticism you had to go through. Your voice has been silenced. Everything that has to be taken away from you, the shame you might be feeling, the guilt you might be feeling, everything all comes up to the surface. So what do? So the first thing I would advise anybody to do, it's left to you to take it. I'm going to analyze the whole situation for you, and you can take it or leave it. It's up to you. It's up to you to decide what you're going to do. If what I'm saying to you does not really relate to you, then no problem. But if it relates to you, take the one that you know is best for you and actually use it for your healing. If it works for you, then you know what I'm actually saying is right. So one of the things I will say is this: you need to sit down and grieve the process. Yes, it's okay to grieve the process. Don't go fixing another person or trying to move into another relationship. It's not going to help. What you need to do is to first of all take your time to be alone by yourself. Use this time to grieve yourself, to grieve what's happened. Grieve it, but don't stay in that grieving process. Grieve it for some time and let go. This is time for you to say, I want to move past this. I want to be healed. I want to be healed. So what do you do after that? You make up, you have to have that determination. You have to have that confidence that this is not going to keep going on in my life. I need to be out of this. And this is the last time it's going to happen to me. You need to first of all be confident about that. So once you've been able to establish that, the next thing I would advise anybody to do is go for therapy. You can do it alone by yourself. Some people may try self-therapy. They may have self-healing. But sometimes it's better to talk to a therapist, because a therapist will put you through. They will help you to pull you out of the past and bring you to reality and help you to move forward. So talk to a therapist. A therapist will help you along the way. So as you're going through the process of therapy, the next thing you need to do, you need to go into a self-rediscovery journey. Yes, you need to rediscover yourself. You need to rediscover who you are, what you are, why you are here. You need to discover your purpose because most times you forget who you are. So you need to discover who you are, what you were meant to be, what you were meant to do. That is when you discover everything about yourself, your hobbies, what you love to do, what you like to say, the kind of places you like to hang out, the kind of friends you like to have, the kind of things you love to do. This is a time of rediscovery. So this is a time of being alone. You need to rediscover yourself, take yourself out, do the things you've not been doing before that you know you love to do. First of all, you need to analyze it. Try to find out those things you know you love to do and start taking baby steps towards it to try to rediscover them, trying to do them, try new things, try new hobbies. Take yourself out. Don't just sit down bottled at home. Go watch a movie, go to the coffee shop, buy books. If you want to go shopping, go shopping. Do something different. Try new hobbies so that the things you can actually do. So once you've been able to rediscover yourself, rediscover your identity, who you are, what you love to do, and you've been able to start doing them, the next thing you need to do is enforce boundaries. I beg you in the name of God, you need to enforce boundaries. Boundaries are a way to protect yourself. They are not there to block people out. It is a way to actually sieve the kind of people that will be in your life. Those who love you, those who have a healthy mindset, who wants a healthy relationship with you, will honor your boundary. They will honor your boundary. But toxic people, abusive people will never honor your boundary. So you need to set boundaries. So make sure you enforce your boundaries. Anybody that does not like what you say, what you do, let them go. When you set boundaries, you're teaching people how to treat you. You know the way you want to be treated. So before you decide, okay, this is the way I want to be treated, you need to first of all know who you are, and you know the things you can take and the things you cannot take. So you need to enforce your boundaries. It is important to enforce your boundaries. So enforce those boundaries. Make sure that you say no. Learn to say no to things that do not align with your goals, with your values. It is your goals, your values, your ethics, your morals, everything about you. This is a time for you to say no to it. You need to say a big fat no. So I would advise that during the discovery stage, you need to identify who you really are, then that is when you need to set principles. You need to set your values. What values do you want to live by? What principles do you want to live by? What character do you want to live by? So by those principles and by those values you have set for yourself, you set boundaries based on those principles. So if anybody tries to cross that boundary, you enforce it. You say a big fat no. You are protecting yourself. You're teaching people the way they are going to treat you. So your peace is priceless. You don't want anybody to just come into your life and mess up your emotions. So that is the next thing you're going to do. So once you've been able to enforce your boundary, and surround yourself with people who would support you. Yes, surround yourself with people who would uplift you and who will support you, who will support what you do, who will uplift you. People with positive mind, you need to be around them, and you need to practice positive self-talk. Don't say something negative towards yourself. You need to reprogram your mind. You need to reprogram the way you think. You need to be observant of what you think. You need to change the way you think. You need to change your mindset, and you need to say good things to yourself. So we all have the inner critic when we want to do something good. So when those inner critics come and tell you you're not good enough, or you can't achieve this, that you're a loser, you need to first of all calm down, understand that this thought is not real, that you're the one making it all up. Then you need to just breathe. After breathing, then you need to understand that this thought is not real. I am the one making this thought up because of my fear, because of the fear I have inside of me, the doubts I have inside of me, the feelings I have inside of me. So it's not true. So I choose to let go of this feeling. I need to let go of this feeling. Then you now reconstruct and begin to say the opposite of what your inner critics might be saying. I do it most of the time. So when I start having negative thoughts towards myself, I reprogram my mind. I sit down quietly and I allow myself to just let the thoughts flow. Then I'll now realize that I'm the one making up this thing up. I try to understand what I'm actually feeling that is bringing up this thought. So once I understand what I'm feeling, so I begin to say, I let go of what I'm actually feeling. I let go of this thought that's coming out of my mind. Then I now begin to say, I welcome this feeling into my heart. I embrace and accept this feeling. And I begin to reconstruct my thoughts, and it works for me. It really works for me. So most of the time when my inner critics want to speak, that is what I do. So I don't allow it to stay. I don't just let it keep roaming in my mind. I don't challenge it like that. The way I challenge it is by breathing in, breathing out, coming to reality, understanding my feelings. What feelings is bringing about these thoughts? So once I'm able to understand the feeling, so I now change the feeling. I let go. I begin to meditate and say, I let go, I let go, and let go. And with time it goes, and I bring in a new thought into my heart. I welcome in a new thought, and that is what I move it, and that is what helps me to do the things I do. So you need to come against negative self-talk. You need to stop being critical towards yourself. You need to stop being a judge towards yourself, and understand that you are human. You will always make mistakes. So you need to speak positively towards yourself. And also, you need to celebrate your small wins. You need to be gentle on yourself and celebrate your small wins. So you don't have to be, so when you take one step at a time, or you've been able to understand who you are and know who you are, you need to celebrate it. So when you have been able to go a day without thinking about your toxic ex, you need to celebrate it. It's something worth celebrating. If you've been able to be in a position whereby you can take yourself out, you can feel happy, you can feel joyful, you've been able to take the step of going to therapy, celebrate it. It is worth celebrating. A therapist will put you more into it. They will help you to analyze the whole situation. So from everything I've said so far, you should be able to pick up something that would actually be beneficial to you, that would help you to heal. All these things I've said so far are self-care practices, but it will be better if you're going through trauma of a toxic relationship to seek the help of a therapist. So, and if you need a one-on-one session with me, you can actually get across to me on what they call it on you can get across to me through my email, or you can get across to me through my Facebook or Instagram page. I'm actually going to leave my Instagram ID and my Facebook what do they call it, my Facebook page ID. I'm going to leave it here in the description box, so you can actually get across to me if you know you want to burden yourself, you want to talk about this, so you can actually get across to me. So that is what I'll be talking about today. I hope you've been able to get value for your time. If you've been blessed by what I've said so far, I want you to please leave a thumbs up, like this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're watching this video for the first time. And to all my existing subscribers, I say thank you. I'm sorry for being offline, but it is needed. I just had to move away because I had to, like I told you, I had to get my certification, my license. So thank God that is done now. So subscribe to my channel, like I'm also saying, and in the comment section, I want you to tell me what you love so much about this today's live session. What is your take about this live session? So I want you to comment with Flourish. So I want you to comment with Flourish, or you can comment with healing in the comment section also. So that is what I'm going to say. So guys, I want to say thank you guys for staying in tune with me. I really love the fact that you've been able to stay with me till the end of this session. So by next week, I'll be bringing in another live session, and I will start making videos very soon. You know, for some time now, I think for the past 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I've only been making what they call it, meditation videos, and it's still going to continue. Yes, it's still going to continue. I'll still keep making the meditation videos. I'll still keep doing the live videos, and at the same time I'll still start making some new videos. And I'm coming out. I'm coming out. I'm coming out. I've learned a lot of things, and I can't wait to upload it. And again, I'll be launching my second YouTube channel. I be leaving the page ID in my description. It's actually called the name of the channel is basically for relationship. It's not for healing. We are going to be talking about relationship matters. So the name of the channel is Relationship That Works. So you can go ahead and subscribe to that channel, because I have a lot of things I want to talk about that pertains to relationship, how to have a healthy relationship, how to make your relationship work. So it's meant for premarital counseling, is meant to solve relationship issues for married couples, for those who are engaged, and for those who are in a relationship and they want to move into a committed stage. So it's meant for that. So relationship advice, premarital counseling, solving relationship conflicts, solving relationship issues. That is what that channel is going to be for. So I'm going to be launching the channel by August 15th. So I'm still preparing everything right now, but you can go ahead and subscribe. So by August 15th, we are launching the channel full, and we're starting work on that channel. So thank you guys for watching. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye.